Here's an important number: 10 months, 23 days, 5 hours, 25 minutes, and 4 seconds. That's how long it's been since I was last institutionalized, since I was last um, put into a mental hospital for for a bad episode. I have bipolar 1 disorder, and at least once a year, I feel like I have a complete fucking breakdown. I get severely self-destructive, delusional, but in an interesting way, right? Like, I see. I had the idea for this video, okay, and it's like all my videos. Let's just wing it. Let's just wing it. This one's like a bit harder, so obviously, videos titled "Reading Saved My Mental Health," and it absolutely did. I think there are plenty of actual academic, scientific studies that you can find that would kind of support that idea, that mindful reading reduces stress and anxiety, that it's rather excellent for mental health. So I'm not really saying anything that that anybody doesn't already know, but what I'm actually trying to do is provide a maybe a testimonial of sorts, or just because I don't think that studies really tell the whole fucking story, man. Studies are lame. Studies are dumb. Studies have no personality. Studies don't tell the whole picture of just how powerful reading can be. And also, one of my favorite YouTube channels has this whole series about has conversations with other booktubers about why they read in a world full of so many different ways to not only entertain yourself but to educate yourself. But so many, in a world of so many things to do, reading can seem rather passe. So why read at all? And since I will never be big enough to be invited on the show that I'm thinking of, I think I'll just why do I read? I read because I think that my sanity depends on it. It's actually extremely useful. After I got out of the mental hospital this last time, I made it a goal to read at least 50 pages a day. Just read 50 pages a day. I always go over that, but as long as you hit 50, it's a good thing. And I believe it adds some structure. I believe it adds, obviously, like the studies would suggest, it calms you down, reduces anxiety, all of that. And I think that's something that the studies kind of don't talk about, is that it compels commitment. Reading any sort of book requires commitment, and if you're only doing 50 pages a day and you got a 1,000 page book before you, you're going to be spending a lot of time with that book. You're going to be learning how to commit to ideas, to prose, to a voice, to characters, to a routine, which is like pretty crucial to mental health. Now, I'm not I'm not the most mentally healthy person in the world, and I never will be. I firmly believe that slipping steadily into madness is the only place that you can be free in this insane ultra modern universe that we all share. I fully believe that. And earlier when I said that I can get delusional, I mean delusional in self-destructive ways, right? Huge, huge believer, or I was a huge believer in nihilism, in anarchism, in extreme existentialism. Right now I'm playing around with more spiritual beliefs, seeing how those pan out for me. But in the past, I was absolutely nihilist for sure. Post-structuralist, if we want to be a little bit kinder, even though I don't think that nihilism is negative in and of itself, but that's because I come from the nihilist school of there are no value judgments. But I'm trying to get past that because my own psychology, my own philosophy makes me delusional. Like, if you're so self-destructive that all you can think about is killing yourself, then yeah, that's a delusion. That's what fucking psychiatrists would call like misanthropic delusions, like self-hating delusions. And I still think that I carry like remnants of that extreme nihilism with me. I've been devoting myself to Christian anarchism lately. Like I said, see how it pans out. See if it benefits or serves me at all. But I still definitely carry around the echoes of nihilism, the echoes of meaninglessness itself, and sometimes I don't sleep at all. I hardly sleep, but sometimes I don't sleep at all. Uh, a lot of the time, I feel like I'm hanging on by a thread. Uh, all the lithium in the world couldn't couldn't level me out completely, and I also don't want to sacrifice any sort of individuality for a more zombie like reality or sanity. So, like like I said, slipping steadily into madness. That's the place to be free. But as I keep control, as I stay in control, then I'm okay. Then I'm all right. And my life jacket has been novels, has been fiction, books. Books have definitely kept me on land, right? Books have definitely kept me sane throughout this last year. Like this it's been almost 11 months, right? Like we're coming up to a year. Like this is the longest I've gone without a manic episode in a long time. And the only significant change that I've really made, right, apart from continually taking my medication as opposed to sporadically taking it, is reading. Is reading books, is making reading a fixture, a foundational quality of my everyday life, something that I do every single day. Like I remember like fucking 9 months ago, I had a terrible fucking scare, right? Like I could feel myself getting impulsive again, wanting to do a bunch of fucking drugs and go crazy and spend all my money and fucking kill myself again, right? I felt that coming up. I felt that coming on. And what I did instead was I started to reread David Copperfield. I needed to make a huge commitment, and a commitment that I knew I could make because I'd made it in the past. And I needed to read someone strong. I needed to read one of the masters. So I went to Dickens, who is one of my favorite authors of all time. And I went to David Copperfield, which is one of my favorite books of all time. And committing to David Copperfield saved me from that. And especially the insight from David, the whirlwind of David's life, uh, the prose of Dickens fucking saved me. Dora fucking saved me. David Copperfield and Charles Dickens kept me out of the mental hospital that time. And then like reading obviously can do so much more than that. And then that's a huge thing, right? Like keeping you safe, keeping you healthy, keeping you sane. That's a huge thing in and of itself. But books can do so much more. Because that nihilism I was talking about earlier, I wasn't just saying that to seem edgy in this stupid fucking video. I was saying it with purpose. Because The Warrior Prophet, my most recent read it for the first time just now. The Warrior Prophet takes that nihilism that I was fanatically devoted to, and it shames me with it. It terrifies me with it. It haunts me with it. It spooks me with it. It tortures me with it. And it deconstructs nihilism itself within the frameworks of a dark fantasy. What R. Scott Baker was able to do with The Warrior Prophet, which is book 2 of the Prince of Nothing trilogy, I think is immense. I think that through this extraordinarily nihilistic work, it was able to criticize nihilism so directly, so grotesquely, that I don't think I could ever go back to that thought process, to that philosophy ever again. Not really. Right? This fantasy book did what Nietzsche never could. This fantasy book made nihilism, it exposed nihilism in all of its gory fucking petulance. It's the putrefaction of dead ideologies. The putrefaction of dead ideologies is what comprises the rotting corpse of nihilism itself. And that's what the warrior prophet just taught me, right? If you've read this series, the first book, The Darkness That Comes Before, is kind of a setup book, meaning, but okay, I haven't read the third part yet, but I'm thinking that it's all about like how philosophies or psychologies, ideologies, religions are born, right? There's the setup, the darkness that comes before the argument. Then the warrior prophet is that philosophy in action, that philosophy lived, right? And the thousandfold thought, like I don't know, it probably would have to be the sacrifices, the consequences felt post that psychology, post that philosophy, or something like that. Or maybe it's just like a greater enlightenment, but it doesn't seem like the sort of book that would do that. But either way, like what I'm really saying is that this one that I have read, The Warrior Prophet, has completely changed the way that I interact with nihilism. And since the manic ways that I'd interact with nihilism, with impulsivity, and with self-destructive behaviors, that's what would accelerate my mania, right? Which would ultimately lead me to being forced into a mental hospital for weeks at a time. But now that I don't have nihilism as that specter that's always haunting me, like waiting for me um, to give in to it, like I do feel a lot more free in a sense, right? And that's what a book did. That's what the Warrior Prophet did. That's what a dark fantasy book did for me. Incredible stuff, honestly. Like reading these kinds of books during this past year has meant the world to me. And they're experiences that I could not get from film, which I think has a sort of since film is all about representations upon even more representations, I think that film is actually, you know, while I'll always love the art form, I've had other channels completely devoted to the medium. I do think that film runs on um, a sort of juvenile existentialism at best. I don't think that there's much meaning within film, right? Orson Welles is the dude who said that film lies at 24 frames per second. Film never tells the truth. You have to believe that. Why don't I play video games? Well, for the similar reasons, probably. Or like video games don't save me for similar reasons. Music I have to be really careful with because music is the most like nostalgic thing in the world. I think music and food, like smelling good food or smelling something, brings you back in time to a certain moment. I think that music operates the same way scientifically, and if not just hyper personally, that's the way music is to me. So when I listen to a song, I can like that can actually be bad for my mental health if I'm listening to a song that really meant a lot to me from a more rambunctious, rebellious, and self-destructive era of my life. Then it could kind of stoke the embers of mania. So I have to be really careful with music. I think we need to be more careful with most of the stuff we see as innocuous ways to spend time because I don't think that's possible at all. I don't believe in escapism. I believe that we're always dealing with really important things, mostly subconsciously. Like we're not conscious that we're dealing with these extremely personal things when we're dealing with them, but I don't believe in escapism because I don't believe escape is truly possible. So if you're looking to escape from something, I think that's a fruitless thing to do. But if you're looking for something to do for leisure, I think we need to be like more careful about it, right? Like I think that reading books, there are a lot of dangerous books to read out there for sure, for sure. But that's the thing, right? We need to be engaging with art, with media responsibly. And we can't ever think that we're just engaging with something just to engage with it. If we live in a universe where nothing affects you, or where you can actually decide what piece of art affects you and on what level, then that's the most disingenuous universe I've ever heard of. And it's also an absolute lie, a complete fabrication, a figment of your fucking try hard imagination. We don't decide how art affects us. We don't decide. All right. And honestly, we don't even have the tools to qualify or quantify how much something has affected us. The newest superhero movie could affect you deeply, but you don't really like grasp the totality of that until 15 years from now. Everything that we experience and engage with and interact with affects you. And I think that over time, over the course of my life, the relationship that I have built with literature has been the most rewarding, the most beneficial, and the healthiest, right? I think that by and large, it's been the healthiest. And it comes down mostly to commitment and to the ability to commit to characters for so long that you not only see yourself within them, but you lose that narcissistic quality of reading, which we all succumb to, and which we have to do that. But you also see so many different people in all of these different characters as well. You start to see the chorus of your own human experience represented through, especially something like David Copperfield or the Warrior Prophet. Reading is extraordinarily important to me. I think it should be important to like everyone, but I'm not the kind of person who's like one medium is better than the other. One form of art is better than the other. I think that someone could have just as amazing an experience from music. I just know that music isn't the best thing for me to devote a lot of time to, because it encourages nostalgia, and most of the things that make me feel nostalgic are like I've had nothing but a self-destructive temper tantrum of an existence. So everything that's nostalgic is anarchic to me, is chaotic, because like I dedicated my life to being a chaotic ball of mania for such a fucking long time, unpredictable and weird. But if you like music better, I totally get it. If you like film more, if you like games more, I don't think that reading makes you better. I think that reading has made me healthier. And that's kind of the point of this video. And that maybe you're struggling with mental health, or, someone who's struggling with their mental health. I would definitely recommend like a reading regiment, not necessarily a routine. Don't be like, you have to read at this specific time, but give them or yourself a specific amount of pages that you have to get throughout the day. And like eventually, ultimately, over time, like you'll start to create those reading slots throughout your day, because you don't like putting it off until right before you go to bed and you're like, fuck, I got 50 pages to get through. Fuck. Because I think that the word that makes routine, or like the concept that makes routine beneficial to mental health, isn't like the routine itself, right? But it's the commitment to the routine. And therefore, it doesn't necessarily have to be a routine. It can be a person that you're committed to being there and present for every day, available to every single day. A concept, a book, anything, like a commitment. Commitment, I think, is the key to mental health. A job, right? Like employment, commitment is the key. Is the key. And that's something that my nihilist self of just a year ago would have laughed at so fucking hard too. But thank God something like the Warrior Prophet. I really think lit that part of me on fire, and now it's not gonna come back again. Tarred and feathered the nihilist in me or some shit, tortured it. I don't know. But I think I think that reading saved my mental health, and I think it continues to save my mental health. I can tell you this, that without reading, um, like this channel wouldn't exist. I don't even know if I would exist, you know, because the point of every episode is self destruction, and I know I would have had another one. I know I would have had another one. Like my episodes don't end with like direct suicide attempts. My episodes end with me putting myself in the most dangerous situation around the most dangerous people ever that I possibly can. And like I have, I have accomplished some daring feats of recklessness. The no-win situations or scenarios that I put myself into that somehow I got out of, which shock you. They shock me. But without reading, I know that I would have done that again. Without reading, I know that I wouldn't be what, like a little over a month away from 12 months without needing medical intervention for my mental health. I think that's incredible. I know you're watching this going, you seem crazy. That's the key, right? I don't want to seem like everybody else either. I want to be able to be mentally healthy while being unique, individual, totally and completely me, inimitable me, you know, without having to sacrifice my mental health. Like that's kind of the point. So, like I said, slipping steadily into madness is the only place to be free. And I think I've found a good place to make camp, to pitch my tent. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, reading saved my mental health. That's the point of this whole goddamn video. Hey, whatever. Thank you for watching me. Reading's so important. It's so special. It's really good. It's good stuff. It's a good way to spend a life. A reader. Bye for now.